stream for make sure the community knows about the stream. And it is day 3 today. 10. So yeah, big news. Well, actually, I'm gonna be doing the streams every CT 6 p.m. Not sure what's the time in UT. We wanna get streaming hours. Streaming. Yeah, this is it. This is a quick look at the progress of proper each. Went to the platform between and today, essentially. Go through all the changes of today and yesterday. A few things to note is we saw the app, so the app is known for. So you have a whitelisting for the waitlist. We currently have 58 people on the waitlist and about in. And if you want to have more background data, we've added the total amount of users we have, active users, news as well, so you can see just we've also added the run section and the change up section. Also refined the landing page quite a bit, and to just what changed between yesterday and today. So we've added a strategical functionality. So if I go ahead and behind the feature flag, but if you go public, there will be a prompt that want to sell your strategy. Songs in slow motion. Cut the music, perhaps it's gonna make it real. Can you? Same here. Let me try and fix that. Is this just on as well? So new to this stuff, so audio. Okay. Perhaps if I sound like a robot, it's like I am a robot, no? Let me I potentially check my ear pods and see if that works. Can you wait? Let me try. Sorry for this. Is it better now? Or okay, is it good now?
Can you guys confirm? Alright, so if it's good now, it's cool. Very cool stuff. Let me Saludo. Hey, everyone. Okay. I will have to put my own music at some point. Or some non-copyright music. Alright, cool. So what I did say is we've made a lot of improvements to the app. Just a few things to note as the app is now in prod. So every time now I do a change, it goes straight to prod. I will spin up a beta environment or like a dev environment. But for now, everything is just going straight to prod. And that means for the next few days, as I open the app progressively to the waitlist, you'll have feedback instantly of the app, which I think is cool. But you can go check it out. We've also changed the name. I think the name before was a bit lame, and I just found this name to be cool. It might change over time. I don't know. Honestly, I don't care so much. But we've made this landing page. You see the waitlist. We've made quite some changes. So as I was saying before, I'm gonna go through quickly the changes that we've made, and then we'll grind on the platform for some time. And that, I think, how I'm gonna do the stream. Sorry, is, and by the way, it's gonna be every day for the whole year, and it's gonna be a long journey. But I'm gonna be trying to be consistent. So at this time every day you'll see me. Potentially I'll adapt. Potentially it's gonna be a few hours later. Because I know I'm in Dubai, so now it's already 6 p.m. But we'll see. It's probably gonna be at least an hour long, potentially sometimes 4 or 5 hours long, depending on how much interaction we have, etc. But I promise, be here every day, unless I'm sick or like I'm traveling or I don't know, some things happen. But I do my best, and that includes weekends. We're not gonna mess around with this. And if I don't do a stream, I at least do a video, but that's my commitment. So, all right, so what we've got done between essentially this morning and last night is we have the Solana payments. So, and that's in prod now, which is cool, is you can buy credits. We've streamlined the way we purchase credits. Before we had a monthly plan. Now it's just outright credit purchase. So that this allows me to have a better understanding of the unit economics of the app. So my cost basis for the app is the cost of credits. I pay the large language model. And so I know that, okay, if I pay, well, you have this, I mean, cost basis for the app is essentially this plus the infra plus the API cost. And so I'm pricing the app as a multiple of this, and I'd be open and transparent about the cost basis and the revenues, so the profit margin of the app. And that's going to be on transparency. That's actually something I want to add on the roadmap quickly. I'm just taking some notes here, but say add profit margin on the transparency board. That's something we'll want to add. So we've added cool things. So we've added ability to pay with XBG on Solana, and it works. We've actually made our first transaction. I'm not gonna take my wallet here, but good news for XBG holders. If you're watching this and you own XBG, you'll be able to pay in XBG, and that also works. Today it's only on Solana. Might add it on Arbitrum. We've made our first actual payment. That's why today it's day 3 and we have 10 in revenues. Full disclaimer, that was my own wallet, so it's, I guess, $10 to the company. But you can actually see now the payments. So you see the on SoulScan.io that went to the deployer wallet of XBG, actually. So that's the cool thing that we've added. We've added also a strategy marketplace, which is today under a feature flag. But the concept, I've put it behind a feature flag because I think I got a bit too ahead of my skis here, but I think I was just too excited about the functionality. And the concept is that if you found a strategy, let's say you found a strategy that works, and that's cool. It works over time, and it works, it's consistent. Let's take, I guess this one is looking pretty good. It is to buy BTC on the daily chart where NASDAQ drops more than 2% in a single day. You can see that the win rate of this strategy is 43%, which is good if you have a good risk reward. In this case, we have a take profit of 6%, stop loss of 4%, so a risk reward of 1.5, which I guess makes sense if you have a, I guess, to have a positive ROI on a less than 50% win rate with the 1.5% risk return. On average, because you have some parameters for stop loss that differ a bit, it's 1.46%. So let's say today it's under a feature flag, so you don't see it, but let's say you find a strategy that's a bit weird, but you're like, yeah, I think there is an edge here to be made, and I want to get paid for it. I don't want to disclose it to public. Then you'll be able to set your own price for the strategy, let's say 50 cents, let's say $1, and then people will be able to, well, we'll seal your strategy that's blurred. Potentially you see some comments. I'm not sure how to incentivize that, but people will be able to buy it eventually with XBG or USDC. Something to be made around the strategy and potentially tokenize the strategy, or like open a vault on Hyperliquid to replicate the strategy. Anyway, so we've done this stuff. We've also added a referral system. So if you go on the settings today, you see your wallets that you can add, which will be mandatory, obviously, if you enable payments on the marketplace. And then you'll see the referral system. Obviously, referral system does not work because there's a wait list, but it will work as soon as I undo the waitlist, which is probably not going to be until end of next week. So end of this week, I want to get the app in prod to the first, let's say 500 users. It's a big threshold, but I think we can get there. I'll announce the perks for being an early user, but essentially going to be free credits. And then we'll do a newsletter on the winning strategies that we find, and that's the cool concept of the app. Like how I got the idea of this app is to say, I have this idea. I'm not sure if there's any edge in this or any patterns, but today you have no quick way to. Let's say you have a thought. You have no quick way to quickly test or quickly understand if there's any value in this. And this app is made just for this. It's not really made for the pro traders. Like if you know, if you're on TradingView and you do Pine scripts, or you do a lot of Python code, or like you're a pro backtester, but it's more of a, I have this idea, I want to get a quick feedback. Let me have a look. I think there is something to be made for pro users, or it's a lot more advanced. You have better charting, you have better ways to tweak the backtesting, but not for now. Might come, I don't know, end of the month or something for the pro users. So we've made this. We've added Google Auth, which is cool. So I guess just normal auth mechanism, but it's it's a cool way in which we make the auth secure and frictionless. We've added an admin panel, so not necessarily relevant for you guys, but it's something that's gonna enable me to administer users, ban users, look especially at what's wrong. So the thing I want is, as a first user, once you have the trade idea, I make sure that you get feedback on the trade. Like what you don't want is that you put a trade idea and then nothing shows up, or like you have an error. And so on the admin panel, I have a way in which I can check the logs for that, and yeah, also flag certain patterns, etc., and also tells me what capabilities I need to add. We've also added, just transparency board, just the overview on chain payments that we've looked at it. Just because we went live and deployed to prod, we've did a bunch of SEO stuff, very minor things, but just things that have to be done. We have changed the dashboard, so dashboard is now composed. Before it was just almost a blank screen. So today you have the referral, you have the top strategies, you have the recent activities. You also have I guess a guide to help you come up with some thoughts on the strategy, because I think, sorry, I'm just going on my chair now, but I think what you want is, as a user, well, what you want to optimize for the app is you want to optimize the number of strategies created, and for that, the constraint you have is actually creativity. Some people just might not have any strategies, and so I was wondering how can I optimize for that, and so I did add this quick 4-step thing. But the other thing we've added is this get lucky. So if you, I guess, have no clue, but you, let's say, want to see if you have an edge, then it just an AI is actually writing a new strategy and testing it for you. Obviously, you're using credit, so you're indirectly paying for it. I'm not sure exactly how many credits you get. I think it's 2K. 2K credit as a new user. But for example, this one was go long BTC on the 1 hour chart when price is falling, but open interest is declining, with a target of 2 to 1 risk return and a stop at 6%, which is a pretty wide stop. I actually wouldn't do this. Yeah, you've missed a bunch. I think on Next you have recordings. I'm not sure on YouTube if you have recordings. But yeah, there we go. We have this result. Every time I see a strategy, I see some things that we can improve. But for example, this one, the backtest period is only going back to October of this year, which is not really, there is no significance to this, is because I'm limited. So the backtesting period is constrained to the lowest time frame available in the data that we look at. So for example, here, open interest, we have an API provider that's telling us the open interest. And potentially because of capitulation flushed, also looked at the long liquidations. And so that's why the backtesting period is not really significant. So we've also added, yeah, I guess profitable strategies that we know. Landing page redesign we've discussed. Settings page we've discussed. Changelog we've discussed a bit. And I think this is it. And that was honestly pretty dense roadmap between yesterday and today. Every day I'm honestly amazed at the stuff that you can do with Cloud Code. Obviously, that's for prototyping, but we we we're getting better each day at it. Yeah, just quickly, I've added in terms of data, I've added Nasdaq, S&P, IWM. I've added the ability to have Yahoo Finance too, which is the way we, I guess, just get the data. And I have this. So I did this MD file on adding new capabilities, which is new capabilities. So you have this MD file that tells you essentially everything that needs to be done to add the capability. So create this new table on the DB, but also because every time I add a new data set, I need to make sure that I get the freshest data. That I backfill the data as much as possible, but that I also have a cron job or like a scheduler to refresh the data on the best time frame possible. So if we're talking about economic calendar, frequency of refresh is not really significant. But if we talk about liquidation, you might want to refresh on a more significant basis, like every hour or every 15 minutes. And then it does all of that. So it teaches the code generator, because the way it works is every time you create a strategy on the back end, we store a Python script, which is then what you run against for each backtest. So every time we basically turn your idea into a Python code, and then we execute that on a VM. And then it goes through a whole bunch of checks and things that matter to the UI, for example, the capability card, and then the keyword detection. Keyword detection being, let's say, if I go on, say, long BTC when the Nasdaq drops by more than 5% on the day, and then close the day after. Well, no, let's say close a week after. I'm actually curious to see what the output is going to be, and then you see this Nasdaq stock market stuff tag. So if I press hit, let's see what I am getting. I was not planning on doing this stuff, but curious to see now what the strategy is going to be. And that's exactly the essence of the app. Is, I don't know, every time someone talks about a KOL talks about correlation to data, or like you have Raoul Powell that says, M2, if M2 goes up, like BTC goes up, then you can actually tell, is that bullshit or not? And this is what the app is made for. Talking about this, we actually don't support M2, so we'll vibe our way through it, and we'll add M2. We have this adding new capability MD. So I will say, oh, there we go. So 100% win rate. Curious to see. So that was the COVID, and that was, I guess, April. Yeah, I think that is correct. Every time, so since 2017, I suppose, every time Nasdaq dropped more than 5%, we had, and you can see here the strategy logic that's summarized, close position after the week, after 1 week, so 7 days. You have 100% win rate. So let's say next time Nasdaq drops 5% and you're not sure what is going to happen, well, it's likely going to happen, you can just go on the app and do it. How cool is that? I think that's pretty cool. Let's say I want to add a new capability on the app. Let's say M2. We wanna check if raw power was right. I actually did not save the strategy, so it's not on here. We see some UI stuff needs to fix. I think that's gonna come. It's the boring stuff I'm gonna do off camera. But let's say using adding new capability MD, add the M2 money supply, and that is gonna go through a step of adding M2 to the system, and it's gonna be a painful job to add all of the data and everything, but I think over time we'll have a pretty extensive data set, and sorry, go ahead. Yeah. And you see how easy it is, and like potentially at some point we might get a system that is doing this on the fly. Let's say you're requesting a capability that we don't have. And by the way, we have UA feedback for it. So let's say, think of something I don't have on the system. Let me give this a think. We don't have anything about MicroStrategy. So like say long BTC. Oh no, say short BTC when the MSTR NAV is negative. Discount to NAV. We actually don't have this capability. And what I want is, actually what I want to do now is if a user sees this, tell that user to request that to the admins. So let's go on the new node instance and do it. So I'm going on a sideline, but I think this is just an easy fix if the user sees that. Ask him to request this capability. Addition. Save this on a new table, so that we make sure that we offer to the user what it wants. All right. So as it turns out, for the M2, we need an API key from Saint Louis. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that API key, see if there's any restrictions. I don't think we'll get stuck. Let me create a new account. All right, account created. Backtesting app with economic. I actually have to request a key. I'm not sure if. All right, there we go. I got the key. So the thing is, I obviously can't show you the key. This is my API key. But so I'm just taking this off screen for a bit, and then we'll just come back. But I just got my API key for now, and for example, the cron job for the M2 money supply that we've discussed is every time I add a new capability, I'm asking it to update on the best possible time frame, and yeah, there we go. Yep. Wait, what went wrong? There we go. Cool. And yeah, this is being added. So we have two processes running. One is looking at this data source that's not found, and want to give it some UI feedback so I can make sure we always get what users want. I mean, if I guess the data is available out there. And we will then, once this is done, we will try and test if the strategy of roll PAL works, which is long BTC on when M2 rises. I know, I mean, I follow a bunch of economic analysts, like M2 is, you have different components for M2, like different, I guess it's the money supply of different countries, and some create more to another. And so I have some analysts that I follow that take M2, take a modified version of M2. And so this is going through a whole flow. This is working nicely. I see your Xbox Lord, so Sam, I see your comments. And yeah, we'll try and go through it. The comment on can we backtest KOL calls is actually really good. I have to think of the way in which I actually had thought of an app that was doing this stuff, and I probably can't show it. I'm not sure where it was, but I had an early app that was doing this. But the thing is, I was constrained with the X API key. But now that they have a pay sort of pay as you go, I think we'll be able to try and implement this. That's a cool point. So the issue is today we're very much constrained with BTC and large caps, whereas a KOL would be looking at the different small caps, etc. Like the backtesting universe is something I want to do in a different step. But today I'm taking BTC. I want to cover BTC because everything's correlated to BTC in crypto. So I'm just trying to get everything running now, and then the table. Alright, I need to create the table. I see some API keys got leaked, so I think I have to take this job of rotating keys after each stream, which is going to be a bit of an annoying thing. Okay, migration done. And now I think this is going to be working. So the idea that we've discussed of if you have an idea but we don't support it, you can request that capability. What we added yesterday is the ability to, we don't want people to waste credit on something that we don't support. So we gave UI feedback for it. So let's say the idea that we had was on short BTC when the MSTR premium to nav, well, when is negative to nav. I guess then it's a discount to nav, but anyway, you see the thing today. I guess I need to refresh, but that should. I'm not sure. I think that I need to refresh. Wait. Fine, machine just said. Okay, can you also? Sorry, so it did not, because there's two instances where we have this text. This does not match any supported data set. So one where it's after the input, and then the other one is before the input on the text. So I think it's just gonna add a text box here and get it across the wire. So the other process is running, and we have 312 M2 records seeded. And let's see, we'll be able to test infamous Raoul Pal, which honestly got kind of wrecked on this calls recently. So this is the UX that we have now. So if you have something that we don't have, you can request this, and then that should hit our DB. I'm just going to check now, but I'm pretty sure this is hitting the database. So unsupported capabilities. Wait, it actually did not hit the DB. Let me just try and troubleshoot what happened there. Okay. Show BCC, post that, but this is not hitting the. It's not hitting the DB. Interesting. Ah, there we go now. Okay, now it works. So, cool thing is then as an admin, because, well, obviously, I'm not going to be able to see everything that the user does, but I'm going to be able to see it as an admin, and then ideally we get in a well where, but that's a bit taking it a bit too far, but I think as things progress, we'll be able to add this, is that the system add the capabilities itself. For now, we're not there yet. So we're waiting for this M2 money supply capability to get done, and then we'll do something else. Yup. I will have, so Sam, sorry for the Actually, I have no clue. Let me add some music, by the way. I have absolutely no clue how Twitch works, so I do some learning after that stream. Well, actually, tomorrow morning, I think. And then be able to moderate the stuff. We'll also have, I think we'll do, you have monitoring them somewhere, trying to be as restricted as we can. I don't see it, and I don't want to spend so much time on this. Music is cool. Alright, so I don't have a fresh enough cookie. Let me get a cookie on there. So don't take that cookie. I guess security of those streams, I guess by the time you see it and you try it, it's just, well, by the time we scale this, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make this more secure. Today is just we're just vibing, I suppose. But now I'm doing the whole capability thing, and I think from beginning to let's say we don't need an API key, but we often need one. It takes about, let's say, 10-20 minutes to add a new capability, which is pretty cool. So now it's testing some edge cases. So we see, for example, it's testing the M2 expansion long. So I believe the thesis is that you need to long BTC when M2 expands. And you see the platform capabilities here. The cool thing that we can add is the community request. So community request, we added this manually. But the cool thing would be to take items from what we just saw here. So if you go new strategy, I want this to appear on the capability request tab. Can you add those capabilities on the request tab in the capabilities tab, and then hopefully we'll get it there. So we're getting the M2 stress test passed, and now we can test this stuff. So let's say now if we take in M2, we should support, there we go, we support that capability, which is a cool thing. And then when I say, alright, so when M2 grows by, I don't know, 20% quarter on quarter, long BTC, and then cut the trade only when M2 declines by 10% quarter on quarter. So, well, I could do a simpler strategy, but I think it's a cool thing for now. So let's see what we get from this. And the other thing that's running in parallel is whenever you want to, whenever we see we don't run it, well, we don't support one of the capability, but this will appear on the capabilities tab. And hopefully this M2 thing works. I mean, the result won't be of high significance anyway, and we don't have any trade actually. So gonna have to troubleshoot this one. Sometimes when you add a new capability, because the data set that you get is not serialized, you run into those issues. And that's probably something I wanna add. Oh, sorry. I get no trade. Alright, so now, I mean, let me try and see if I go to the capabilities and I go on request, I can see short BTC on the MSTR premium is negative to NAV. So Sam, see a bunch of your comments here on Twitch. The inverse Kramer crypto edition, for example, we don't support that, but like we would be able to, you would be able to add this in the suggestions, and our goal is going to be to crunch through all of them, and it's never going to be possible to add all the capabilities, but I think we'll get to a good stage. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. Okay, so the system was actually pretty dumb because it only exposes month-over-month change and year-on-year change, but not the quarter-on-quarter change, which is, which is not good. Hopefully we need to have a solution that whenever you have no trades, it is able to give a better feedback, because today feedback is really, really bad. Let me actually check the stats. I'm not sure I'm able to get the X stats, but I saw some good improvements between yesterday and the day before. I think at some point we'll talk about growth, because I'm pretty optimistic we'll be able to scale this. Growth in, I guess, just app growth, but then also growth at a stream level. So we're fixing this M2 thing, and then this other thing was added on like short BTC, which is cool. We can try and add a new capability now. The inverse Kramer stuff. And we can say, can you do the inverse Kramer capability? Capability referred to adding new capabilities. Let's see what we get. I'm not sure there's an API for it. I think I need to look at the social stats, but because Jim Cramer is a bit of a KOL, I do think that we can get some sort of RSS feed or like non-API gated stuff. Let's see. And let's see what we get. Now I want to make sure this is fixed. We'll just try and make sure that on a month-by-month basis it works. If you have questions on Xbox or anything, you can just drop it there. On the chats. And I need to actually change the DB for the answer. Something that would be cool is to think of a system for agents to interact with the app, like potentially do some sort of because you have to look at it as who's going to use the app, and I think you'll have a bunch of AI traders, like AI agents that will use the app. So curious to, I'll just try and get the feedback here. Still not sure why this is not working. That's not good. Because that, I don't know, that should pick it up. We also need to have request a bug functionality. And we can add it there. Well, not request a bug, but report a bug. So can you add a report a bug? Functional, tab where users can submit screenshots and mention bugs. Use supervised storage and make sure it is secure, so we don't want anyone to put any weird stuff on our DB. Security is going to be a big topic, and that's going to be taken care of stream. We still will get any trades, so I just don't know why. It's weird because we added a stress test thing, but it's just weird it's not showing up. So if I see sometimes if you see me just not talking, is because I have to respond to some stuff on Slack. If you're new to this and you don't know me, I'm the CEO of Xborg. We do some cool stuff on the fan engagement space, and yeah, a lot of stuff happening in the background as well. So what we're doing at the moment is we're doing the Jim Cramer stuff. I have to troubleshoot this. I'm just taking a note of this. Troubleshoot. What we can do as well is, while we do this stuff, troubleshoot. We can add profit. Yeah. Sorry, I think I froze for a bit. I think I'm back online. So let's say on the transparency dashboard, can you show a graph of the profit margin? So we don't have any API calls that I can think of except Cloud for now. But as we get some more costly API costs as we scale the revenues, we will be able to add this. But on transparency dashboard, can you show a graph of the profit margin of the app use only the Cloud API cost. So I'm using Sonnet in the background for this. So we are getting the reports about stuff done. We're getting the inverse grammar done, which is a cool thing. And one thing I also want to do, but I probably need more thoughts, is I want to, so that we will do, but I want to do better present capabilities. So I'm thinking, as a user, you get on the platform, you're like, okay, what can I do? And I thought maybe a bubble map is interesting, where you have a node-like structure, but I'm not sure how to approach that. I have to do some thinking on how to better approach the data, because I'm still not sure what, like, all the capabilities I'm going to add, but yeah, I'm not sure how to present that then. Perhaps we don't need to present this at all. Let's see. Let me read some of the comments on YouTube and Twitch. We've added Google Trend actually. Checking some messages. Sorry. So what do we have? Cookie here. Alright, grammar stuff is getting done. I'm not sure what's the data source for the grammar stuff. We have this new DB table for the report to bug. Just trying to get everything ready for prod, to be honest. We're getting the grammar stuff done, and then what is this? The app uses, yeah, we use Claude Sonnet 4 based on Sonnet pricing. So what we will be able to add is, on the transparency board, you'll see our cost basis. Goal is to be as transparent as possible, and we're just now 60 on the waitlist, which is cool. It's cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys use the platform. And spend those credits. Spend the credits. There's actually a case where we're not profitable on the app because of the free limit. And an interesting thing is that what this did tell us is that token usage isn't tracked. So I'm gonna be asking it to track token usage. So we really get a better understanding of our cost basis and basically what's the new, what's our, not sure what's the term, but you have ARPU, but what's the net contribution per user? And then as we progress, we'll add some, like the cost structure of APIs and eventually the infra cost. What I want is that this is as clean as possible to, you seeing how much this costs to be made and how much this brings. Today, it's $10, so it's not much, but it's honest work, as we say. Ingestion API. Alright, can you go see data, por favor? And we're getting the inverse grammar stuff done. I think on the stream I want to add some capability, like we'll do some functionality work and then we'll add some new capabilities. Again, today we're doing this simpler version. I do think that at some point it's going to be wise to look at a pro version, so something that's a bit more polished. Alright, we need to create a storage bucket for our DB. And I'm gonna add it just now, which is a bag of screenshots. And make it private with a 5 MB 5 limit. And restrict to image, PNG, image. So the stack that we use today is Next.js. Next.js. So I'm just making sure I'm writing this correctly. We are using Next.js in the front end, back ends, but we're using Python VMs, so virtual machine, to run the Python codes, because the way it works is that we have Sonnet that is generating the codes, getting all the data, well, looking at the data set, and then we have Supabase, so Postgres on the DB. And today we're running on Railway, but I think we'll migrate to AWS over time. And now I think we get our cost basis chart. Average cost profit margin is actually negative. What's the deal here? 101 calls. Code query usage. We might have an issue if we're not profitable. I know this is wrong, but I want to get to the bottom of this. Because I haven't even added $10 in credit. Query usage log for group by day. Can you track exactly what's the cost of each strategy on the DB and make a more accurate prediction of the spendings? So, because you're not going to have every user that pays, so I'm making sure to price the app in a way that's is on a multiples of the cost basis. But perhaps this is priced wrong, so good to know just now. Because that'd be a shame to run this at a cost. Well, at a to loss. So yeah, everyone's clocking out in the bear market, but we are live more than ever. We are pumped. I'm in bear record. Okay, we can actually go to test this on the heck is this? Yeah, the genre. That's the credits. That's the way it works. We'll report a bug. Okay, let's see if I can record a bug. Going to, well, actually, what doesn't work is the enter quarter on quarter. Well, not gonna add too much of the description. Let's take a screenshot. Let's drag and drop. Ugh. Let's take this and then submit the report, see if we get it across the wire. And I see it on the DB, so it's all good. And it's all good, we're getting this done, which is cool. Shipping today, we ship a ton of stuff today. Number of features we've shipped is crazy now. Now that the thing is, you can create a lot of functionalities and it's good, but like the main thing is the app is only as good as your last back test. So if you have all the functionalities in the world, but your back tests are not good, or like your feedback is not good, then you're pretty much cooked. And we have this app, but that's not the main PropFirm app. And PropFirm we're getting some PRs approved. We did a bit of that yesterday. I haven't done so much of that today, but we'll do that after the stream. And we're getting some good PRs. Approved now. So this is working fine. We just refined the liquidation engine for the PropFirm. And now what we have running is we are trying to get a much better feel of the cost of each strategy on the database, so we get a better overview of the cost basis for the app. So, like, how much does a strategy cost? Are we talking 10 cents, 20 cents? And then accordingly we can make sense of the potentially tweak that, potentially use a different model that's cheaper. These are refinements that we'll make over time. Today, the goal is to create a good UX. I want to make sure that someone goes on there and bookmark this app and comes back and eventually buy credit. That's what we're going to track through the revenues. So report is getting done. Actually, the inverse Kramer thing should be done now. I'm not sure what this is doing even. Yeah, still running the inverse grammar stuff. Sonic cost generation. Okay. Alright, so we are doing this stuff. Okay. So we have a plan to track exactly how much a call to Sonnet is going to cost us, and then accordingly we'll be able to better estimate the cost basis. Because when I did compute the credit system, I did ask it to price it on at least a 3x multiple. So if my cost basis is 10 cents per call, which I think is expensive, I want to price it to the user 30 cents, even at the beginning, because my goal is not to. I don't want to run this at the cost. Alright, what the hell is happening here? So we are. Our clode's bugging out a bit here. So this is running the cost basis calculation. And this is done. So we just want to get the inverse grammar stuff, and then we'll move on to something else once we get the cost basis thing done. So you guys are aware I'm vibe coding here pretty aggressively, but when I'm off the stream, I'm making sure I'm making sure I clean everything up before pushing too aggressively. And we are getting the C grammar done, which is cool. That one took a lot of time, I'm not sure why. Let me check some of the roadmap items I have. Alright, so that was done, that was just a draft. I have another doc. The thing I need to do is get better organization for those streams, but today we have the stream running for about an hour and 14 minutes. I think we'll run it for another half an hour, and then just end it there. I'm just gonna be grinding on my side. So it looks like our cost basis is 14 cents per call, but we'll try and see how we can refine that over time. Accordingly, it's gonna dictate how many free to give per users. And then, yeah. Alright, so now we have a table that is telling me exactly how much a strategy costs, which is cool. So I'll check the table just now. I think the table is, what's the name of the table? Usage log table, and it's going to tell me, it's going to tell me exactly how much a strategy is costing me. Alright, so that strategy is good. Well, it's actually a good strategy. And I'm trying to look at the DB now. Tell me what's my cost basis, please. And tokens used on cloud size side is 25,000. I see. Okay, so I see 25 tokens used. How much of that is in? I'm actually not sure how much does this represent. So we'll get a better, I think we'll do a whole episode on the unit economics of the app, but that was a good finding. So yeah, so the point is our input, the large recipe split. Okay. And output tokens. Alright, so I have input and output tokens. Oh yes, our input token is 21,000, output token is 4.2, so total is, so our cost basis is 13 sats, which is actually quite high. So if we go on transparency today, and then I'm gonna tell, make sure the app is priced at 3x multiples that of Sonar, i.e. if I pay $3, the user pays circa $9. We'll implement, I mean, we'll adjust that over time. Potentially it's going to be higher or lower, but I think this is a good starting point for now. And inverse grammar is still not done. I'm not sure why. What's going on here? Create grammar. Did I not create this table? Okay, table created. Sorry, I did not create the table actually. No, it's done. Okay. Pricing changed before. Okay, API cost, market 3x. Alright, so before market was only 1.0x. So free tier is only 4 generations. So now if we go to billing and credit, 24 credits per generation. Use value. Yeah. So $10 is only 23 strategies. That's a bit expensive. So let me sure, can you display on cost basis on the billing page? Just want to make sure the user is aware of what's our cost basis, and then we'll look to optimize that. So make sure we can compress that. There's a lot that we can optimize on this. Cost basis, you pay on API cost, you pay, yeah, there we go. Potentially we might want to reduce that over time, but for now, yeah. It comes with a drop down, it's not looking so good right now. And actually, we might want to get this a prod. And I'm just going to check my prod instance. Okay, inverse, okay. Just see some errors on the prod logs. So I'm just gonna troubleshoot this. And then we have the inverse grammar thing done. So inverse grammar will be able to test this just now. Add quarter, okay, this is done, this is done. This is hitting prod. The inverse grammar plus RD, okay. Won't be to see whenever gene grammar is bearish. Let's see. Well, so that would mean actually, I'm not sure because it's the inverse grammar, so it's hopefully texted as, yeah, I'm not sure. Wait, sorry. Okay, that was done. Okay, cool. So we're getting there, Lewis. What I'm gonna do off stream after is clean up the, there we go, the whole thing. So when Mr. Kramer is bearish, you actually can't long BTC. Well, you should long BTC so much. But I'm wondering if it's not because it's taking inverse Jim Cramer. So if the system thinks Jim Cramer is bullish, then what does that mean? I'm not sure. Like, I'm gonna be troubleshooting this off screen. gonna be troubleshooting this stuff. And I think everything is running even in prod for now. And I've set up a beta environment just now. And it's rebuilding the latest. And then we'll see when I get this to the actual prod. For the reported bug stuff, I wonder. Yeah, it might just be overkill for now. I think we're getting pretty good for today now. Chain Kramer, that's supposed to prod. We have on the transparency board now, we have our cost basis. That's showing at cost basis. I'll have to check exactly revenue. Okay. Then we're gonna add some more stuff on like exactly how much a user is costing me and how much I get per user. Let me check the roadmap, see if we can do some other stuff. Yeah, some of you guys told me that we can't see much of the screen, so I'm not sure how. Wait, I'm not sure how I can do this better. Maximize, but then I'm not there. Oof. Wait, the fuck they did. Alright, so I think, alright, we're getting to it. So, screen share. I'll have to improve the stream setup, potentially use a different stuff. Apparently you can't read much of what's on the screen. But yeah, we'll do growth. Well, growth is an important topic for this. I want to get the app out first, and then we'll do the whole growth. Alrighty, so that's hitting prod. This cost generation thing is also hitting prod. We've changed the pricing strategy quickly. Now we're hitting 62 persons on the wait list. Small numbers, but you know, we gotta start. We have to start somewhere. And that's it. Let's see if I want to get lucky. Test a new strategy. Alright, that one is interesting. Go short BTC on the daily chart at each full moon, hold for 7 days and close. Use a 4% stop loss. Let me see what we get out of this. If you have examples of features you want me to add, please let me know. We've got a full pipe of features we want to add, but just in case. Then I think we'll add one more capability, and then we will end the stream just there. See, now we get a code execution failed, which is not good because we're wasting credit and the user is not happy. Hey, Franco Oxo 7. Hey. Well, you're coming, I think, towards the end of the stream, but we've added so many functionalities. Potentially, I'm not sure. I think it can add notes, but I'm not sure those will be on the screen. Welcome. If I say welcome. Yeah, I'll have to definitely have to do some growth there, like just get a better understanding of the stream. And I'm rogue dogging the stream, but I'm not sure this is good. And we have an issue on this one. Also, what I've added yesterday is this. Whenever you look at the astrological event, that's telling you the data set that we have. And I have no clue why this doesn't work. This should work. Why do I get I'm just trying to troubleshoot now. Why do I get... Alright, fuck. Alrighty. The bug report is done. And I think our prod instance, well, actually it's... Well, latest deployment has failed because of some unknown issues on the latest data edition. What I'm interested in is the Pro version. Like, now we have a very user-friendly version, but I want to test try and see if we can build a Pro version of the app, potentially for all the flow traders. Just giving him account access for logs directly. Okay. Because we've run multiple instances, we pretty much have our railway instances just not in sync. Like, they just, I haven't committed everything, so I need to make sure each instance is up to speed. Okay. I'm not sure what happened there. Alright, so we get some issues, which is not ideal here. Still need the things to troubleshoot. And that's what I'm gonna do off stream, is make sure that's the boring stuff, but make sure I have a testing suite so that this does not happen for the user. And then I think a lot of that to be done on troubleshooting everything, adding capabilities, and then we open it to the waitlist. If you're watching this and you're not on a waitlist, you can go to backtester.xyz, backtester.xyz, register to the waitlist, and then you'll be getting your hands on the app. Cool thing about the app is you can explore strategies for free. So, for example, getting strategies that have profit factor of 1.99, 27.8% return. What we will add is the ability to see signals that add capital in a vault that follows the strategies. So you make money from the markets. Apparently that is fixed, the full moon stuff. What was the full moon stuff again? Not exactly sure what this was. Yeah, that was this one, go short BTC. calculator. I can just go there. Let's see if that one's correct now. Yeah, for those of you that are new, the way it works is we generate a Python script that we use for backtesting for each new script. Well, for each new ideas. Well, in the past I had a different implementation, but I figured this was the one that was the most flexible, but it's also an expensive one. But I think the only thing that matters to me at the moment is the UX of this. All right, and well, it's a bad strategy. No, we know it. Go short bits on the daily at each full moon. It's pretty bad stuff. But at least we know it doesn't work. We can save it. There's also something to be made that we can, if we know our strategy resembles one that's already on the DB, you don't need to, you can just reuse the code and not hit the Sonnet, Cloud Sonnet, like the backend, well, the AI. Try the full moon strategy. All right, and I think this is gonna be it for today. I need to do some work on how to make those streams a bit more engaging, how to incentivize the people to come to the stream. But today we got a lot done. I mean, today for the app we got so much done. If you're watching this and you want to test the app, you can just go and go on the waitlist, and I'm gonna be opening the waitlist in about like probably Thursday or Friday. So thanks everyone for playing for today, and I come back tomorrow probably at the same time. Cheers everyone.